Should you start playing The Lord of the Rings Online, otherwise known as LOTRO, in 2020? Hey there everyone, it's Raelunil, and I've been a LOTRO player for over 7 years now. This year has been incredibly intense for pretty much everybody on the entire planet, and because of that, I bet you've found this video because you're looking for something new to relax with, maybe make some new friends, and you're thinking that LOTRO just might be the way to do that for you. Video games, especially MMORPGs like LOTRO, are absolutely great for that because they have huge inbuilt communities of real people that you can interact with, befriend, and in my case, you can even find a boyfriend. Yes, I met my boyfriend through LOTRO. Not kidding. I can hear your questions now. Is The Lord of the Rings Online a good game to play right now? LOTRO's been out for over a decade now, so how well has it aged? What's the game's community like? Why should you pick this game when there are loads of other, much newer MMORPGs out there for you to play? Let me tell you a little bit about the game so that you can make an informed decision for yourself. In order to answer those very good questions of yours, let's first start with the basics of the game. LOTRO was launched to the public in April of 2007, and there have been many changes over the years. The world, stories, and characters are all based on the books of J.R.R. Tolkien, not the Lord of the Rings movies. If you're a fan of Tolkien's Middle-earth, take heart in knowing that it is a faithful licensed game to its source material. Even when the developers create their own stories, they always fit well within the bounds of Tolkien's mythos. The Lord of the Rings Online has a free-to-play model, meaning that you can download and install the game on your computer for free and have content available to play. Now is an excellent time to do just that, because now through August 31st of 2020, you can use a coupon code in the LOTRO store to get all of the quest packs in the entire game for free. Expansion packs are also heavily discounted, so it's easy and inexpensive to pick up playing the game right now. Just because LOTRO currently has a bunch of free and discounted content doesn't automatically make it the best game in the universe, of course. So let's take a little bit of a closer look. How well has LOTRO aged? It is pretty old after all. The Lord of the Rings Online has aged better than many other games its age, but its graphics, especially the appearances of NPCs, are dated now. The systems under the hood, so to speak, are also a bit dated now. For example, the game requires DirectX 9 in order to run. Many computers don't have this anymore, and you will need to install it along with the game in order for it to work, but the game does this automatically for you. The game is updated regularly with different fixes and new content. The long-awaited wedding of Aragorn and Arwen, for example, was added recently as a midsummer festival. All things considered, I think that The Lord of the Rings Online has aged pretty darn well. Updates and new content are all well and good, of course, but what is the overall quality of the game right now? Is it still an enjoyable experience to this day? Many LOTRO players come to the game because they love the lore of Tolkien's world and they want to explore it in video game form, or they may want to roleplay. If that describes you, you're in luck! The lore runs deep throughout the game, and even when the developers tell stories of their own, they still make perfect sense within the world created by Tolkien. The tales told by the quests in-game can get very emotional and are so compelling. For example, a certain quest line that shall currently remain nameless made me cry. Lairden? Narmalef? I'm looking at you too! Well, that's great. But there are other newer MMORPGs out there that you could play. Why should you pick LOTRO over any of those? For starters, The Lord of the Rings Online has far more good content for the price, even when there aren't free quest packs and massive sales, compared to most other games in its genre. Also, if you want to skip to a higher level, you have multiple options available to do so in the LOTRO store, whereas with many other games, you just have one option for level skipping, or you have no options at all. In most MMORPGs, you need to have groups of other players in order to make much, if any, progress through quests, levels, just the game in general. One nice thing about LOTRO is that it works well for solo play and small groups, as well as for larger groups and raids, giving you more options for how you can play and who you play with. While Lord of the Rings Online is definitely an MMORPG, it's different from a lot of other games in the genre for various reasons, and because of that, it can appeal to different tastes than most of them do. For example, if you're not into cartoon-style graphics and you prefer a somewhat more realistic style, LOTRO has got you covered. And at the end of the day, if you really want to, you can play more than one MMORPG and put time in both. That's right, I said it, you can play more than one MMORPG. I have done that myself. I played LOTRO and another game in the genre at the same time. So if I can do that, so can you. Well, that's fantastic, you might be thinking, but what sort of community does the Lord of the Rings Online have? What are the people who actually play the game like? When I first installed LOTRO back in 2012, I was essentially a refugee from another MMORPG that I had actually been playing for quite a few years. And the reason I say that is because I ended up having to leave that game because I kept getting harassed every single time I would play just because I'm a woman. All the male players decided to gang up on me and attack me and say all sorts of horrible things I will not repeat here, just because I happen to be a lady. After I abandoned that MMORPG with the very toxic community, I booted up LOTRO for the first time, and I discovered the wonders of the LOTRO community. Nearly everyone in the LOTRO community is respectful, polite, kind, and actually nice to new players. Unlike a lot of games where the veterans are nasty to noobs, in LOTRO I was actually welcome. And so are any of you who might be thinking of joining LOTRO for the first time. By the way, the community still is kind to new players and just everyone in general. I've been playing for over 7 years now, and I can legitimately count on one hand people, the number of times that somebody has been legitimately nasty, inappropriate, rude, whatever, to me in LOTRO. Seriously, just one hand! In 7 years! That's an absolute miracle. I've made some fantastic friends from playing The Lord of the Rings Online, and that is because the members of the community are so high quality. Just about everyone is happy to help new and returning players with whatever they need, whether it be advice, a newly crafted weapon, or directions on where to go to pick up the next set of quests. And even if you're not brand new to the game, or you're not a returning player and you just need a helping hand, there's loads and loads of players out there willing to give you whatever assistance you need, within reason of course. So, should you play The Lord of the Rings Online in 2020? If you enjoy Tolkien's Middle-earth, want to be part of a fantastic online community, and you're willing to give an older game a chance, then yes, you absolutely should play The Lord of the Rings Online even though it's 2020 now. And if the answer is no, well, there's plenty of other games for you. Thank you so much for watching! If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that good old subscribe button right over there so that you don't miss any future LOTRO content from me. I have a tendency to make guides, and there is a new guide for you right over here, so be sure to check that out as well. I hope to see you all there and in the next video. Bye! What are you doing to my cheetah plushie, cat? Oh god, that is Buster! No! Not Buster!